Topic of presentation is health insurance. Various companies has different health insurance policies. I am Bhavna Chandwani. Today we are talking about basic principle and claim procedure of health insurance. Basically, there are two types of coverages: individual health insurance policy and family floater insurance policies. Individual health insurance means each insured person has its own sum insured. It can be given on family package basis also. Here family consists of proposer, spouse, dependent children and parents, and each one has its own sum insured. In family floater, a single sum insured is floated and entire family. This sum insured is shared by family members. Company's liability cannot exceed the sum insured in the policy period. Here, family consists of self, spouse and dependent children only. Health insurance policy covers the following. Base covers are inpatient hospitalization expenses, daycare treatments, pre-hospitalization expenses, post-hospitalization expenses, Ayurvedic treatment expenses, domiciliary hospitalization expenses, named modern treatment methods and advancement in technology, cost of health checkup. And we also have optional covers like road ambulance expenses, daily cash allowances on hospitalization. Who can take this health insurance policy? Any person between 18 years to 65 years can take this insurance policy for himself and his family members. Dependent children between the age of 91 days and 18 years shall be covered along with their parents. Mid-term inclusion of family members is also allowed at pro rata premium in case of newly married spouse within 2 months of marriage and newly born baby between the ages of 3 months to 6 months. Now we will see in detail hospitalization expenses covered under health insurance policy. Expenses of hospitalization for a minimum period of 24 consecutive hours shall be admissible, except in daycare treatment. This time limit shall not apply on daycare treatments because in daycare treatment, those treatment and procedures are covered that require duration less than 24 hours, like chemotherapy, radiotherapy, laser treatment, etc. Room, boarding and nursing expenses incurred as provided by nursing home up to 1% of sum insured per day or actual expenses whichever is less. These expenses will include nursing care, RMO charges, IV fluids, injection administration charges and similar expenses. ICU and ICCU charges are admissible up to 2% of sum insured per day or actual expenses whichever is less. These percentage of sum insured may differ from company to company. The fees charged by medical practitioners, surgeons, specialists, consultants, anesthetists treating the insured persons are covered. Operation theatre charges, expenses incurred for anesthetics, blood, oxygen, surgical appliances, medical appliances, cost of artificial limbs, and other such similar medical expenses related to treatment are also covered. All hospitalization expenses, excluding the cost of organ, incurred for donor in respect of organ transplant to the insured person, provided the donation conforms to the Transplantation of Human Organ Act 1994 is also covered. Other expenses covered are dental treatment is not covered unless necessitated due to injury. Plastic surgery is also covered if it is necessitated due to disease or injury. Expenses in respect of some specified illnesses will be restricted up to some percentage of sum insured, like cataract, hernia, hysterectomy, major surgeries which includes cardiac surgeries, brain tumor surgeries, pacemakers, hip replacement, joint replacement surgery, organ transplant, etc. These percentage of caps may differ from company to company. Expenses incurred in 30 days prior to hospitalizations are covered under pre-hospitalization. In the same way, expenses incurred up to 60 days after the discharge from hospital are covered under post-hospitalization. Ayurvedic treatment. Expenses incurred for availing treatment under Ayurvedic system of medicine is covered only if it is taken in registered Ayush hospital. In the recent past, health insurance policy coverage is widened by including expenses incurred for advanced medical procedures like oral chemotherapy, robotic surgery, stem cell therapy, etc. Domiciliary hospitalization. In this, we will cover on reimbursement basis medical treatment for a period exceeding 3 days for such an illness, disease or injury which in normal course would require care and treatment at a hospital but is actually taken while confined at home under any of the following circumstances. The condition of the patient is such that he or she is not in a condition to be moved to the hospital, or the patient takes the treatment at home on account of non-availability of room in the hospital. It is important to note that in case of admission to a room at rates exceeding the limit 1% of sum insured, the reimbursement of all associated medical expenses it incurred at hospital shall be effected in the same proportion. Cost of health checkup is covered by a health insurance policy up to 1% of average sum insured of preceding 3 years, subject to a maximum of ₹5,000 per person per policy period for a block of 3 claim-free years, and this will not reduce the sum insured. Some exclusions are expenses related to treatment of pre-existing diseases and its direct complication shall be covered only after 48 months of continuous coverage of policy, like joint replacement due to degenerative conditions, age-related osteoarthritis and osteoporosis, etc. In the same way, expenses related to some treatments are covered only after 24 months of continuous coverage, like cataract, piles, fissure, fistula, and calcus diseases, hydrocele, congenital internal diseases, etc. Post 30 days waiting period. All illnesses except accident shall be covered only after 30 days from the first policy commencement date. Now permanent exclusion, and these are applicable for all plans. The company shall not be liable to make any payment under the policy in respect of any expenses incurred in connection with or in respect of all expenses caused by, arising or attributable to foreign invasion, act of foreign enemies, warlike operations, civil war, or public defense, military or usurped power. All illness expenses caused by radiation or contamination by radioactivity from any nuclear fuel or from any nuclear waste, from the combustion of nuclear fuel, nuclear, chemical or biological attack. Stem cell implantation, congenital external disease or defects or anomalies, sterility and infertility, maternity, circumcision unless necessary for treatment of an illness or injury not excluded hereunder or due to an accident. Cost of routine medical examination and preventive health checkup. Unproven treatments, change of gender treatments, cosmetic or plastic surgery, vaccination or inoculation of any kind unless it is post-animal bite, refractive error, rest, cure, rehabilitation and respite care, obesity by weight control, expenses related to surgical treatment or of obesity, treatment for alcoholism, drug, intentional self-injury, attempted suicide, breach of law, dietary supplement, treatments other than allopathy and Ayurvedic branches, change of treatment for from one system of medicine to another system unless recommended by a consultant hospital, or any treatments of non-medical expenses not specifically not covered under the policy. A few attractive benefits in health insurance policies are: first is tax benefit. Tax rebate is available as per provision of income tax rules under section 80T. And second is free look period. The free look period shall be applicable on new individual health insurance policies, in which insured person shall be allowed free look period of 15 days from the date of receipt of policy document to review the terms and conditions of the policy and to return the same if not acceptable. Now we will talk about claim procedure. Notification. It is very important to notify the TPA and insurance company in writing within 24 hours from the date of emergency hospitalization and at least 48 hours prior to admission in hospital in case of planned hospitalization. And it is essential in both the cases cashless procedure and reimbursement procedure. Cashless procedure. For this, intimate TPA of the claim using toll-free number given in the health ID card. This cashless request form shall be completed and sent to TPA for authorization. After verification, TPA issues pre-authorization letter. At the time of discharge, the insured person shall verify and sign the discharge papers and pay for non-medical and inadmissible expenses. For reimbursement procedure, submit the necessary documents to TPA or insurance company within the prescribed time limit as mentioned below. Hospitalization and pre-hospitalization expenses within 15 days of date of discharge from the hospital, and post-hospitalization expenses within 15 days from the completion of post-hospitalization treatment. Hope you find this presentation informative. Thank you so much.